Frankie Mitchell as he tries to jab his way in. There's a good right hand thrown to him, and I think that's a key. He must fight his fight.
You have your answer. He let go of a beautiful left, good on the target.
Frankie Mitchell came in with a pretty good left
around. This is a normal Brian Mitchell start.
Closing seconds of round one, and Frankie Mitchell caught his style. And I certainly know that Mr. Lucia has been in this situation before, knows these two fighters, and will know more about them before this one's over.
Well, Frankie Mitchell, let's see how Mr. Lucia does. He seems to be more flexible in what he does.
Well, roughly about 15 seconds to go in this second round. Still with the puffiness over the right eye. They'll watch that closely. Frankie Mitchell coming in with a combination. One thing that will be of concern of Brian Mitchell, and just looking at the cutters he got caught with, it is on the eyelid there, and that's a dangerous spot.
Both fighters, of course, using everlast drugs tonight. Brian Mitchell
way to his second consecutive round of big punches as he lands a combination. Brian did counter with one of his own, and now Mitchell, I believe, has a cut over both eyes.
The venom in those punches, some good shots going in.
Frankie Mitchell landing a right. Thomas, a shot at John Molina, but the Molina camp reneged after they saw Frankie Mitchell fight, and he's missed a golden opportunity. But now it is called again. It's Frankie Mitchell suddenly come back and take the advantage. By the way, with that round one by Brian Mitchell, we have tightened it back down unofficially to a one-point fight with Frankie Mitchell slightly ahead.
Brian Mitchell getting nicely into the inside now. Some good combinations there, left and right.
Tops that of Brian Mitchell here of South Africa, and I tell you what, the fourth round and down to the fifth, Brian Mitchell has started to turn his fight a bit. Brian already with some welts on the back of his right shoulder, which indicates some big right hands of Frankie Mitchell have caught the wrong spot as the bell ends.
Good game of chess here, Sam. They've both instructed their fighters in a very positive way.
And both are willing to give up the pawns to get to something bigger and better. 1 minute left to go.
But our third great fight of the evening, Sam. We've had a wonderful bill here this evening.
What a night. International card here in Aostra, Italy. Vying for the Winter Olympics in 1998, and this is a sports-crazy town, and they're loving it as Brian Mitchell and Frankie Mitchell are toe-to-toe. Good right hand thrown by Frankie Mitchell. He throws another right hand, and Brian momentarily backed up as the bell sounds to end round 6. Interesting change of events here in this championship fight, and another big left hand by Brian Mitchell.
Mitchell's eyes, of course, standing up very well for the early scare to his corner. They've treated it well. Not a problem since round 2.
Again, it was on the eyelid, and that's the most dangerous spot, as again, Frankie Mitchell lands a good right hand.
Last fight that Frankie Mitchell had against Pee Wee Parker, he wasn't fighting at the junior lightweight limit. He was fighting on about 136 pounds.
His toes bobbing and weaving away from Frankie Mitchell early on, maybe letting Frankie punch early in the round to get him a little tired, and now he's starting to capitalize, but still. Now, let's bring in another factor. Are you ready for this one? We are now at a very nice altitude as Brian
wobbled slightly from a little punch there from Brian.
Right over the rope. Caught a left hand there that could have done it. Another combination by the champion. Now, right hand by Frankie Mitchell just glanced off the chin that time of the champion Brian Mitchell. With an even round coming to this, the 8th round. Frankie indeed coming on strong, but here comes the champion back. A right hand.
Great punch there from Brian Mitchell.
And there's the bell as they exchange punches as the bell sounds. The referee getting in between them, and two of the best punches of the night.
Fighters decide to take this round off.
It is not a competitive round, even though, again, the jab of Brian Mitchell getting in, and now the exchange. Both fighters getting big punches in.
Of course, as a commentator, as soon as you say that, the action comes.
All right. As Frankie Mitchell lands a right hand, Brian lands one right back. Good round. Uppercut by Brian Mitchell. A countering left hand by Frankie Mitchell. And Brian Mitchell back with a combination.
Italian crowd loving this, rising to their feet, seeing these punches.
Seems to be looking a little bit more towards his corner. Something he had not done. When he clinches, he looks to his corner more to say, hey, I'm doing what you told me to do, but it's not working right now.
For sure is one of the hardest fights Brian Mitchell's had, but not real much meat. But there's the right from Brian Mitchell.
But what's happening is that Frankie Mitchell has now been relegated to fight the champion's fight. And that's in close quarters. Brian with a looping left hand. Good combinations by Brian Mitchell. He's trying to get this round. Frankie Mitchell trying to fight back.
Rivera.
Got
And the same punch as well.
Got a draw with Rivera. One of the two on his card. Good left hand again. Right on that swollen right eye for Frankie Mitchell. The right is also swollen. And Frankie Mitchell coming on top of the champions. Brian Mitchell very lethargic. Round one, almost an even. Could have even gone to Frankie Mitchell last punch in the round to win it. That's how close many of the rounds were tonight. I think the ones really that Frankie Mitchell won decisively, and also Brian Mitchell.
Lucia sits in, pushes him away. Brian Mitchell takes a couple of shots there, a couple of lefts that go in from Frankie Mitchell. Mitchell realizing maybe the danger is make sure he keeps his title for the 11th time. But such a close fight, Sam.
Brian Mitchell fighting his fight, though, and there's the bell, and the fight is over. And both fighters feel they've done what they had to do as Harold Volbrecht raises the man he thinks has won. The other side of the coin, Frankie Mitchell's handler certainly congratulating him. So Brian Mitchell, on all three of the scorecards, wins it here tonight. And again, we had it by 5 points.